what's up, guys? Jim here from Drink a Beer and Play a Game. Welcome to another episode of the Power Hour podcast, episode 318. And as you can tell, it's a solo show, baby. Good old Jimmy Wimmy Pants is here tonight. So, no Brian tonight. He's like doing something this weekend, some like gay shit. I think he's having like his 10-year anniversary with his wife. Something stupid. So, no one cares, but yeah, he's out there having a good time. So, you stuck with me. And so let's get into this as we always do with what I am drinking. We'll be saying we a lot. It's going to be weird, but I haven't done one of these solo shows in a while. And almost spilled my beer. But what beer is that? This is coming from the Obscura Brewing Company out of Cape May Courthouse, New Jersey. Their Obscura Sunrise. It is a Mexican lager with blood orange, cherry, and lime. 4.9% alcohol. And yeah, so this is so far a pretty good one. I like Obscura. Obscura is a kind of it's a weird little, it's like not exactly a hole in the wall, but it's like a tiny little brewery with like a small little area, but they have a really wide and vast beer selection. I talked about it before. And so far, everything I've had from there has been mostly pretty good. It's almost like this small little converted like auto garage, which a lot of these breweries are. It's like next to a McDonald's with like nearly no parking. You have to share the parking with the McDonald's and like an old folks retirement home. But yeah, it is a cool little spot. They throw events in the back there, and drinking this out of my tipple glass that my lovely wife got for me. And the aroma, it isn't overpowering. It isn't super strong, but you definitely get a lot of the citrus in there, which you would expect with the lime and the blood orange and all that stuff. And then the taste. All right, it's weird. It's not bad at all. It's very good, but it's almost like there's no flavor profile, and then you get the hints of kind of everything. Like it's just kind of a slightly citrusy lager at first. And then you get the hints as it's going down, more of the blood orange, you're getting that tart from it. And it really seems like the flavors are it's both very balanced and subdued, but the flavors are also fighting each other for like dominance. So like nothing really comes through. It's very weird. So you're just kind of left with like a lager with some citrus. And it's good. Don't get me wrong. But when you're saying like blood orange, cherry, or lime, you'd kind of hope one of them would push through and really be the dominant one. But you're not getting that here. So pardon me, already burping. I've had a lot of their beers, and like I said, they're all good, but I don't know if this is necessary. This isn't a must-have. Like, if you're getting a flight while you're there, you can give it a shot and see if you like it more than I do. It's certainly not bad. You won't, like, regret it, but I would probably not go out of my way to get, like, a 4-pack of it. Because, like any other microbrew, a 4-pack of this is probably, like, $20, between 16 and $20, so money's probably spent somewhere else. Speaking of beer, so I'm sure many of you out there have heard of Kona, their Big Wave beer. And it's been around for a while. So a local place to me called McGurk's, restaurant, brew, big for sports games, huge place, food's good there, blah, 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 blah. They had some girls there. They were having a promotion for Big Wave. So my wife's like, oh, looks like they're giving out samples. You should go get one. So little did I know they're like kind of still setting up. So my goofy ass just kind of walks up to them and I'm just like, hey, is that a beer sample for Big Wave? And they're like, oh yeah, do you want to try it? I was like, sure. And so as I'm like taking my sip, they're like, have you had Big Wave before? And I just go, yes. And I basically just completely threw off her whole spiel. She's like, do you like it? I was like, yeah. Still drinking my free sample. And she's like, oh, okay. So I walk back to my seat, and as I sit down, I go, oh, I just look like the biggest, cheapest asshole in the world. Because it's like, here's a little tip for everyone out there. If you're going to grab a free sample off someone, especially imposing yourself on them, because like 10 minutes later, they got up and started walking around the bar, giving beer to people and samples and, going through their spiel. But, so one, I was already encroaching on their stuff. Two, they basically knew like this is just a guy who wanted some free beer. He might have no intention. I actually wound up buying, a pint just because I felt bad. But if you're going to go up to any of these beer girls with free samples, even if you've had it before, just play along. Just play the game and don't be a stupid asshole like me. And be like, no, I haven't had this before. What is in it? This is a very interesting taste. Do go on. At the very least, give yourself some conversation out of it. The girls were good looking too, so it could have been a nice little feather in the cap. But of course, I'm so just, blinders from being married for fucking almost, 10 years. I'm just like, yeah, beer's good. Bye-bye. So, once again, like with most things, don't be like me. But what you can be like me with is joining me as we play some games. And my gaming this week. So, once again, like usual, playing me some StarCraft. So, because of my second channel, Jim StarCraft Struggles, links below, like, comment, subscribe. I always spend like 1 day a week that I have available gaming on that. So I'll basically do like a whole bunch of bulk recordings at one time, edit the videos together, and that'll get me like a week and a half on my like 3 day a week upload schedule or 3 upload a week schedule. So like that's always just kind of going to be consistent in the background there. As far as like gaming specifically for this page though, Prince of Persia, Lost Crown, still making my way through that. I am currently 25 hours in and I am 73% through the game. So it's close. It's very close. I haven't gone back and touched Max Payne yet. It's like, I have to get through this Prince of Persia game, and so I can finally feel good enough to move on. Once Prince of Persia is done, I'll bang out Max Payne in no time, because that's, an 8-hour game. But I'm finally at the point in Prince of Persia where I'm pretty sure I have all the abilities I need to do basically all of the running around, traversal, all the usual stuff with the Metroidvania. You have to get all the abilities so you can... It's definitely a different kind of Metroidvania. It's not like, say, a Metroid, for lack of a better term, where you can just bypass everything, and if you're good enough, you can still get through the game. Like, this is, in a lot of ways, a very linear, story-based driven game where you have to get through certain parts. You have to get your abilities, and you have to beat every single boss and stuff like that in order to have enough to, progress to the later areas of the game. So if you're looking for a pure experience like that, where the world is your oyster and you can do what you want, this isn't necessarily that type of game, but for what it is excellent. Like, the platforming's great, the challenge can be there if you want it for the side stuff. The combat is nice and fluid, even on a Switch. So, again, I mean, it's an Ubisoft game, so at this point, it's been out for over a year, so it's probably like $20 now tops if you want to buy it. If you like Metroidvanias, I can't recommend it enough. I will just be happy to be done it by the time I'm finally done. And yeah, I brought up Patreon, I brought up Max Payne, and that comes to us as a Patreon review request, where you can get them in over at patreon.com/drinkabeerandplayagame, where for as little as $2 a month, you can ask questions that we will answer on each and every single one of these Power Hour podcasts. So, first up, from our newest patron, thank you to Chris, Sega fan Chris. Thank you so much for signing up for the $2 tier. And he says, "Hey fellas, just joined the Patreon. My friend turned me on to your podcast earlier this year, and I've been thoroughly enjoying it. Why, thank you. Hey, anyone else out there? Please, if you know someone who likes gaming and would like to listen to a gaming podcast with some guys who are not successful enough to be fake at all, we're a very honest page, for better or for worse, share it around, tell people about it. I don't even care about getting like new patrons or crap like that. Just more eyes on the show would always be great. I'm in Rhode Island, so I'm wondering what Rhode Island beers you've tried, if any. Narragansett doesn't count. Well, there goes my answer. Some of our best breweries are Tilted Barn, Long Live, Gray Sail, Buttonwoods, and Epinaw, I guess. Apanga, AppanAug. Sure. As for PA beers, Victory is fairly popular here. Also, I visited my weirdo friend Jamie near Philly recently, and I'm so jealous you have Pliny the Elder available. From Sega fan Chris, cheers. All right. This is one we're going to have to come back to also next week with Brian, because he's more the beer guy. He has Beer Advocate, and he tracks every single beer he's ever had. I have to say, personally, I think I've heard of Tilted Barn, but I don't think I've ever had any of these breweries here. Let's do a quick little Google search. In Rhode Island. Let's see. Yeah. Rhode Island is home to nearly 40 breweries offering innovative. Let's see. Newport Craft, Gray Sail, Whalers Brewing, Long Live Brewer Works, Moniker Brewing, Okay, yeah, I feel bad. I haven't really had any of these. It's a small state. Why are you throwing the small state breweries at me? Come on now. I'm in a state with like 700 breweries. You're throwing one with 40 at me. Come on. Killing me here. But yes, I mean, I would be more than welcome and interested into trying some beers. Hint, hint. While we are on the subject, I have to remember to go into the YouTube defaults and take out the P.O. box. The P.O. box will be coming back, so don't send anything to the page, but the one that we have right now, I'm going to let slide and go away and make a new one, basically, because it's a pain in the ass for me to get to now. It was close to my old house, but since moving, it's so out of the way. And like any other postal service, like a post office, they're open until like 4 in the afternoon. So if I ever want to get down there, I either have to be off already and it's not a holiday where they're open, or I have to like take time off my job to leave early to go to the freaking P.O. box. Or, drive over there when I'm like on my way to a meeting or something, take a quick detour. So completely out of the way. A new one will be coming. So for the time being, please do not send anything to the P.O. box, to the show if you're watching an old video. Not like you're going to come to this podcast after seeing an old video. You know what I mean. But just throwing that out there to everybody. And obviously we'll announce it when it's back up. But yes, no, I would love to try some more Rhode Island beers. Maybe I'll keep an eye out the next time I'm at a beer distributor near me and, check the areas, see if I recognize some of these names now that you threw my way, and I'll try some out. Homework. More homework. Next up from Burn Retinas. What's a game that doesn't have voice chat that you would like to add to it? And were you avid trash talker, supportive teammates, or silent but deadly? Yes, that phrasing was on purpose. A game that doesn't have voice chat that I would love to have to it. Okay. As far as I know, Tetris 99 does not have voice chat. And having 100 players in a game would probably be a nightmare for voice chat because of so many voices going on at once. I can only imagine. Maybe you could put in like a special thing where you're either only talking to people who are currently attacking you or that you're attacking or that you're defending from. You'll have to put in some kind of extra steps and algorithm in there because obviously 100 people would be awful. It would be terrible. Outside of that, maybe like smaller indie like racing games like Horizon Chase Turbo for, lack of any other thing. A competitive kind of game where it would be fun. I was never a huge trash talker. I did not start the trash talk in even a ton of games that I would play online. And like, I hate eating my words. Like, I hate talking a ton of shit and losing and just having to suck it up. So, if anything, I'd be either quiet or just friendly. I get very angry. I would get very angry and bossy during Call of Duty. So obviously if I'm playing with Brian, he's the best player out of our whole group, so he would kind of be dictating everything to us. But if I'd be playing with like other groups of friends where I'd be one of the better players and like we'd be playing domination, eventually like you start losing and someone's got to take the reels and be like, no, you go to B, you go over here, you try to fight some guys and be a distraction with me. Stuff like that. Whew, man, I forgot how much like being the sole talker on one of these podcasts can be brutal for the throat. Cold beer is probably not the best thing for that either, but oh well, gotta hydrate somewhere. But yeah, I would never be like super silent or anything like that because if I'm going to go through the trouble of having a headset in and voice chat on, I might as well talk to the people I'm in the game with. And then obviously we've talked about it before. You have games out there like Friday the 13th, the game that had like such a cool community around it where you wanted to talk to everybody and you're all having a good time together trying to get away from Jason. And even then, if you're like shit talking Jason, it's still like eventually that Jason might be on your team. So you're not still going too crazy enough. It was a very wild time. It was a fun game. It was one of the best ones ever to be in a voice chat with. But yeah, that wraps up the Patreon questions for this week. I want to thank everyone out there for the support as always. Now that I have kind of like an established setup here for my solo crap, I'll finally get around to doing some of these little mini bonus episodes because we have not been doing enough bonus episodes for this podcast. I know it, you know it, we all know it. Got to make it up to you. So if I start doing ones by myself of things that I've recently watched or even played, little mini reviews or stuff to talk about, be quick little blurbs, but I will definitely start getting to those and pounding those out. So once again, thank you for the support. And speaking of support, that's right, baby, it is time for the affiliate links. Head on over to ghettogamer.net. Use our code DBPG. Get 20% off your first order. If you like the NES, if you like the Super NES, even a little N64 action, if you need consoles, if you need cables, if you need controllers, there's a little bit of everything over there at very fair and competitive prices. It's not eBay gouging you, and it's not like certain mom and pops that will add a tax on games with a name. It's not like that. So definitely head on over to our boy. It's run by our buddy Longy Long, and he does a great job over there. And while you're building up your collection, why don't you build up your brain by heading on over to Skillshare? Skillshare is the online education platform that can give you courses on a whole bunch of different things, whether it's learning a new recipe, learning some drum rudiments, learning some history, maybe learning about video games or how to be a better gamer. Use our code DBPG30 to get 30% off 1 year of a class. So any class you want, 30% off, use our code DBPG30. Thank you for all the support. And if you are new to the page, make sure to head on over to iTunes, YouTube, or Podbean. Leave some follows, leave some comments, leave some stars, leave some likes. Anything you can do can and will help the page. And for any new comments over on iTunes, we'll read them. All right, now it is time for the news. And there's actually been some big news stories in the world of gaming this week. Some good, all right, you know what? None of it's been good. It's all been terrible. It's an awful, terrible business, terrible industry that just constantly tries to find new ways to fuck over the people that fund it and support it. It's awful. We should all stop being gamers. We should never support these companies again. We should only buy from indie companies. Every publisher sucks. Every developer sucks. I hate them all. And one person who has really been very good at building just the worst goodwill possible is fucking Microsoft, especially with the goddamn Xbox brand. What they are doing with this, I have absolutely no idea. We've been talking for months now about how it would be so easy for them to make headway, to bring themselves back in. Nintendo's been getting greedy. Sony's been getting greedy. And they were doing it first. And instead of doing the smart thing, instead of doing the competitive thing and going, yeah, we're going to slash prices, what do? Double it. They doubled it. Game Pass. Their biggest selling point at this point. We know they don't care about consoles anymore. We know they don't care about hardware anymore. It's all about Game Pass. It's all about games as a service. And these stupid assholes doubled the cost. And really, they doubled the cost really on their ultimate plan, which is one that everyone cares about for the most part. But there's 3 different plans. Let's get into the official press release. We love press releases around here from Team Xbox. Our goal with Game Pass has been clear. Deliver unmatched value, benefits, and a deep library of games for our players. Since launching in 2017, we've steadily grown our subscriber and creator satisfaction. And today, creator participation and player engagement in Game Pass are at all-time high. But, you don't start a sentence with but, come on now. But we have the opportunity for Game Pass to help more players find the creators and games they love. We know not everyone wants the same thing in their Xbox experience, so we're evolving Game Pass to offer more flexibility, choice, and value to all players. Whether you love day one releases, discovering hidden gems, or playing across multiple devices and screens across Xbox consoles, Xbox on PC, and Xbox Cloud. Whew, man, that was one long sentence. All right, no more grammar. Starting today, we're introducing 3 upgraded Xbox plans based on how players play: Essential, Premium, and Ultimate. Each includes expanded game libraries, including PC titles, unlimited cloud gaming, in-game benefits, and revamped rewards with Xbox Experience. Today's Game Pass core subscribers will automatically move to Essential, Standard X subscribers will move to Premium, and Ultimate subscribers will remain in the Ultimate plan. That's the kicker. In part to our commitment to meet players where they are so you can choose what works best for you, no matter where you want to play. So, what is the breakdown? I'm not going to read the rest of this freaking press release. Ooh, my face is all green now. So, the Essential tier. You get 50 plus games now playable on PC, console, and cloud for $10 a month. You get unlimited cloud gaming, in-game benefits, including for Riot Games. They're doing some partnership thingy with Riot Games. Online console multiplayer, and play and earn up to $25 a year in-store rewards. Well, with rewards. Oh boy, $25 back a year. You spoil me. Next up, the premium tier. 200 plus games now playable on PC, console, and cloud for as little as $15 a month. The old price of Ultimate, by the way. New Xbox published games within a year of launch, unlimited cloud gaming with shorter wait times, in-game benefits including for Riot Games, online console multiplayer, and you can play and earn up to $50 a year in the store with rewards. Last but not least, the Ultimate tier, the one that has gone from $15 to $30 in price for seemingly no real added benefit at all, which is why everyone in the world is freaking out about it. Playable on PC, cloud, and console for $30 a month. 75 plus day one games a year, including all Xbox published games day one. Ubisoft Plus classics and EA Play included, with Fortnite Crew coming in November. There's some blah, 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 blah. You know, the little asterisks is there with some fine print. Who cares? Unlimited cloud gaming and our best quality with our shortest wait times. In-game benefits, including for Riot Games, online console multiplayer. And you can play and earn up to $100 a year in store with rewards. So, now that we've just got through that. Oh, boy. Okay. So, how have the gamers been? Well, they have been quite mad about it. They have been quite in a little tickle of a pizzy of a pickle. So, some tweets here, like from McQuack, going, remember when Game Pass was $10 a month and you got Xbox published games day one? That was less than 2 years ago. Imagine pre-order, from Jay Barry, imagine spending $1,000 on PC semi-Xbox handheld, then finding out Game Pass is $360 a year now. Game Pass is getting an upgrade. The only upgrade is I see is the price from Rami. Yeah, everyone just kind of going like, how can you say this is a great value anymore? And I mean, so here's one from Madcap412. Xbox back then. The best multiplayer experience on console, great leading AAA IPs, great marketing, aggressive competitor, and innovative. Xbox now. Price hikes. Multiplat kumbaya, confusing messaging, awful and broken games, Game Pass ? And the cloud. Saying that they killed everything that made it cool. Other people, comparing it, the price from here over to Nintendo's and everything like that. So, yeah. Let's just say there is a lot of angry people out there. And, of course, one person who's been hopping on the trend is GameStop. They have been picking it up and basically bashing them left and right with all their tweets saying about how, you buy a game from us, you have it forever, which we all know is bullshit given the way that modern gaming is. Like, what you buy from GameStop isn't on the disc for the most part. Some games are, I know, but, we all know what gaming is these days. But there is an argument to be said now. It's going to be cheaper to just go back to maybe buying one game and playing that for a month or two than paying for Xbox and having all these games that you don't touch. It really is going to depend on how much money it costs and how much you're going to be using it. And look, let's break this all down to brass tacks. We know why the hell this is happening. And I'm not going to say tariffs. I'm not going to say inflation. It's because of that fucking Activision Blizzard deal. With all those billions upon billions of dollars they spent on buying that, on buying Bethesda, on all these acquisitions, they got to make the money back somehow, and they're not getting it through new subscribers. We've had plenty of articles, that we've read in the past on this page about, the growth of the Xbox Game Pass brand, and it hasn't been a ton because they're not putting that much out there. And even a lot of these day one releases, aren't a huge grab. Some of them are, Doom and Call of Duty and stuff like that. That'll keep bringing people in, but it's not bringing the droves and droves of stuff, and you're not hitting these niche audiences with people, especially for $30 a month. People who just want to play the hidden gems, they're not going to spend $30 a month to do that. You can go to Steam and spend 30 cents on the same game and just have the game in your library now. So, I mean, this is just absolutely insane. Yeah, I mean, there's nothing else to say. If the Xbox, among anything else, is just amazing at finding a way to... It's that old adage, they're grabbing defeat from the jaws of victory. It could have been so easy for them to have a win. They could have had a win. They refused to have a win. So, speaking of winners, the stockholders, well, not the stockholders specifically, but the high-up people over at EA won because there has just been a huge $55 billion buyout of Electronic Arts. Yes. So, Electronic Arts, a global leader in interactive entertainment, today announced that it has entered into a definitive agreement to be acquired by an investment consortium comprised of PIF, Silver Lake, and Affinity Partners in an all-cash transaction that values EA at an enterprise value of approximately $55 billion. The transition positions EA to accelerate innovation and growth to build the future of entertainment. Okay, we'll get to that. Under the terms of the agreement, the consortium will acquire 100% of EA, with PIF, and for those of you out there who do not know, which I was one of those people, I didn't fucking know, PIF stands for Public Investment Fund. What is the Public Investment Fund, you say? The Public Investment Fund is the sovereign wealth fund of Saudi Arabia. It is among the largest sovereign wealth funds in the world with a total estimated assets of $941 billion. Created in 1971 for the purpose of investing funds on behalf of the government of Saudi Arabia. Wonderful! The wealth fund has crowned Prince Mohammed bin Salman, Saudi Arabia's de facto ruler since 2015, as its chairman. Oh, that's, no conflict there. So, more than 60% of the fund's activities are within Saudi Arabia, and it goes on, blah, blah, blah. That's off their Wikipedia. So, the Saudi government's official investment fund. Great. Anyone out there who likes wrestling knows how great Saudi Arabia has been for WWE. It's just been awesome. And all these random comedians who are going over there now and doing shows, and no one's pissed off about that. Good old friendly, those little scamps in Saudi Arabia. Ah, man, don't we just love them? So, Silver Lake. What is Silver Lake now? Silver Lake is a global technology investment firm with more than $110 billion in combined assets under management and committed capital, and a team of professionals based in North America, Europe, and Asia. Maybe not just those three. Silver Lake's portfolio companies collectively generate approximately $260 billion of revenue annually and employ approximately 4,500 people globally. This is all off their website, so it's not like, okay, it's an investment firm. Great. And then, of course, Affinity Partners, which is an American investment firm based in Miami, Florida, formed in 2021 by Jared Kushner, Donald Trump's son-in-law, who also served as senior advisor during Trump's first presidency. The firm has a focus on investing in American and Israeli companies. If you can't tell, this transaction probably went over very well on Blue Sky. Its sources or funding are overwhelmingly from the Saudi Arabia government. I'm not going to say it. But so, yes. So back to the original lovely press release. They bring their deep sector experience, committed capital, and global portfolios with networks across gaming, entertainment, and sports that offer unique possibilities for EA to blend physical and digital experiences, enhance fan engagement, and create new growth opportunities. The transaction represents the largest all-cash sponsored take-private investment in history, with the consortium partner closing with EA to enable the company to move faster and unlock new opportunities on a global stage. So, yes, what all that mumbo-jumbo is from my stupid, non-smart brain is it's a private investment consortium buying it up, and they're turning a publicly traded company private, meaning they can kind of do whatever they want, run however they want, and you don't have public investors to have to, worry about or answer to. You just have the will of the Saudi government. Perfect. What could go wrong? And then there's a bunch of sentences about them sucking off all three people who have bought them because, why wouldn't you? Give me $55 billion. I'll fucking suck down every last goddamn drop. I don't have any goddamn... I have bills to pay. I don't have dignity. So the transaction was approved by EA's board of directors. Shocking. Is expected to close in Q1 fiscal year 27 and is subject to customary closing conditions, including receipt of required regulatory approvals and approvals by EA stockholders. Following the close of the transaction, EA's common stock will no longer be listed on any public market. The transaction will be funded by a combination of cash from each of PIF, Silver Lake, and Affinity Partners, as well as rollover of PIF's existing stake in EA, constituting an equity investment of approximately $36 billion, $20 billion of debt financially fully from JP Morgan Chase Bank, $18 billion of which is expected to be funded at close. Each of PIF, Silver Lake, and Affinity Partners plan to fund the equity component of the financing entirely from a capital under their respective control. Boy, that's a lot of words. So, yeah, they go into all this other bull crap here, additional stuff of where to find it, participants in the resolution. And, yeah, Stockholders. So if you have stock, you are set to receive $210 per share in cash, representing 25% premium to unaffected share price. So depending on how much stock in EA you have, which, you know what? Since I am not a smart man, as we all know, let's check here. EA stock price today. Let's see here. Woo, mama! So, it is currently at $201 per share, which is, all right, you know what? So, over the last day, it's fallen by 63 cents. But over the past 5 days, especially on the day of announcement, it jumped from around $160 a share to today's close price of $201 per share. So, yeah, I mean, it has been a big old boost, which is actually the highest price point that it has been ever. This is the highest, from what I'm seeing here, and I might be an idiot. Don't answer that. This is the highest stock price that you've ever had on this. So I guess if you're currently checking with it, I don't know how it's going to like differentiate between the payout of like, you know, a set $210 per share versus the current price of $200 per share. I don't know what all that is. But what I do know is, according to this green chart that's in front of my face right now, this is the highest that it has ever been. So that's interesting. What does it come down to? Do I like it? Obviously not. Of course, the memes have already been made out there of like, you know, a guy like the Chad Jack in a turban, basically, like, and, you know, screaming Wojaks of trans people because, you know, they're going to be kicked the fuck out of these games. Any LG, if you hate woke, this is probably a fantastic thing to happen to EA for you. You're going to love this. But, yeah, if you think EA sucks now with microtransactions and trying to milk money out of you, imagine 3 investment firms trying to make back $55 billion. So if you think they're bad now with how they price gouge you, just you wait. It'll be so much better. And at least it's going to our good friends over at the Saudi government, who I love so much and I will never disparage. So, yeah. Cheers to that. God, the state of this business. So, yeah, you love it when you take control away from gamers, even though, I mean, it's EA. It's not the EA of the early 90s anymore. But still, you're government-run gaming. Delightful. All right. So let's move out of the world of corporate espionage and drama and into the world of YouTube gamer drama with a return. Surprise return. Entrant number 27 of the Royal Rumble, Gerard Khalil, the Completionist. He is back. And he dropped on, 6 days ago as of this recording, and I'm recording this on October the 2nd. He recorded a 40-minute video. Wait a second. Is that the first time he's uploaded in 2 years? Let's see here. First time in over a year he is uploaded to his main channel. I think he's been doing a lot of Twitch streams still since the whole controversy went down. Called You Deserve Answers. As of right now, it has 442,000 views on it. And likewise, it has 37,000. So, of course, YouTube are a bunch of pussies and they don't show dislikes anymore. So, can't always go off that without jumping through some hoops. But yeah, so in this entire video, quick history lesson for everybody out there. It's amazing that it's been 2 years, 2 friggin' years already since the original Completionist drama went down. So as we know, for anyone who was following it at the time, Carl Jobst and Mutahar from Some Ordinary Gamers were tipped off about Gerard Khalil's Open Hand Foundation. That was the primary charity that was being donated to by his Indie Land events. Upon looking into it, they basically realized no money's ever been donated from this foundation anywhere. And that couldn't, on its face, be that big of a deal if Gerard wasn't on year after year of this Indie Land event talking about all these sponsors, all these partnerships, all these people they're with and have close ties to, all this money that's been donated towards fighting against dementia, which, took his mother died from it after a 10-year battle. Very sad stuff. But yes, so they basically brigaded Gerard. I think it was Muda who was originally going to have a call with him on Discord, and then he just randomly brought Carl Jobst in, and it was a 2-on-1. And for anyone who's heard the entire leaked message, like, Gerard even acknowledges it in his video. He's like, I knew I was done. Like, he was having a panic attack during, he didn't know what to do. And it went terribly. The entire internet instantly turned on him. He was one of the considered the nice guys of the online gaming culture. And yeah, it was all over. He was instantly disavowed by a ton of his online friends, longtime collaborators. IndieLand's been dead ever since. His online career has basically been ruined since that fact. His production company is gone. They've all been fired. They've all lost their jobs. And his channel is just back to basically being purely him. So, in all that time, the video opens with him basically taking, the whole first segment is called The Beginning and Taking Responsibility. So he goes in to acknowledge that, yes, he lied. He lied about, everything that was going on during Open Hand and that they knew about it. And, that he knowingly hosted the IndieLand 2023 event, knowing that no money had ever changed hands up until that point. And for a full calendar year, he had known this, still went through with IndieLand, and basically still tried to raise money because, one, he still wanted to add money to the fund to eventually be donated, and two, it had grown into such a thing year after year, he didn't want to lose the momentum that it was having. He goes on to say that when he found out about it, he is one of 5 children, along with his dad, who run Open Hand Foundation, and basically he had to run it all through them. He wasn't the final say, and he was painting a picture of himself basically being desperate to try and get them to give away the money the second he found out, but he kind of got overruled, for lack of a better term. He also goes on to say that for the way they wanted to have the money donated, they wanted to have accounting of where it went. Because if you don't do that and you just give a bucket of money to a charity, most of the money goes towards their administration fees. There's only a very small percentage that charities have to actually put towards the research or the fund that they're actually being a charity of. So he didn't want most of that going towards them. They wanted it to be going towards the dementia research. So that really, again, according to him, very much limited their options. Because, really 6 figures, which for any of us is a ton of money, for, these bigger kind of charities, it's a drop in the bucket. It's nothing. Because, giant corporations give away tens of millions of dollars as a fucking tax write-off. So, you're not going to compete with that. He also went on to state that, they did eventually get it off to a place, and he gave a breakdown of how the money's been sent so far. So that's been good to see. He also went on to say that after the whole 2023 incident and the money basically the second the money finally got donated, he resigned from his part of the Open Hand board. So he isn't a part of that anymore. He also went on to say that as far as the legal side of everything goes and about fraud and all this stuff, they've actually been waiting on a response from the Department of Justice for over a year. So that's why he hasn't mentioned anything in over a year. That's why he hasn't been talking about it. And he basically said he had to get it off his chest and explain his side. He fully scripted this video, which is very smart. Nick DiOrio was talking about it as he just uploaded a video. That was my poop watch before I actually hopped on here. And he was saying how it's like refreshing to see a content creator like think about what they're going to be saying before they do these, my apology, my responsibility, taking accountability kind of videos. Because most of the time people just hop in front of a camera, start diarrheaing of the mouth, and it's a disaster. So, this is a very well-crafted 45 minutes. He goes into all of that stuff, the aftermath, the consequences of everything that's happened. He starts to address the claims that people have had, especially to Carl and to Muda. So I was actually surprised that he didn't start talking about a lot of the other content creators out there. I'm not going to name any names. You can find them. Like, there's a lot of people who made big money and got a lot of attention for themselves talking and constantly covering this whole Gerard fiasco. And he didn't go after them. He only went after the 2 people who broke it, basically. Carl and Mudahar. And he does go on to say, it is funny, he does go on to make his little jabs at both of them by saying, that they're not he had a line in here where he's like, they're not journalists, they're not investment people, they're not lawyers, they're not engineers, which if you know about Carl and Mudahar's current controversies around both of them, direct digs. So that was very cheeky. And yeah, he has one more segment about his accountability, and he winds it up with saying that he's going to get back into doing content creation. It's going to be different than what it was before because it can't be what it was before. He doesn't have his production team, but he's going to try and go back to doing what he does. So, my thoughts on this video. One, it was extremely well done. Like, this was meticulously crafted. It was as good of a response as I think you could ever expect to see out of basically anyone. Like, I'm actually shocked by just how solid of a response it was. And it seemed to really do everything. And he did the smartest thing by jumping into the lion's den and going, I did this, I screwed up, I lied, this is all my fault, basically. Well, I mean, he eventually talks about his family and open hand and all that background stuff too, but he says everything the bad that has happened, a lot of it is because of him. There could be something to be said for the fact that he waited until Carl and Muda were both in the throes of their own controversies to come out and make his jabs, because, you know, if they were still on top of the world, would he have made this video the way he did? Right now, it's kind of easy pickings to get your jabs in, but I mean, Billy Mitchell's been doing it for months now, and now he's like a Twitter legend with his shit posting, even though he's still kind of a crappy, sue-happy guy who did cheat at video games. But you know what? You win a lawsuit, and all of a sudden, you look like the good guy, especially if you're funny on Twitter. And he is funny. Gerard is not funny. So he definitely needed to have a shorter leash on himself, I guess, for lack of a better term. One thing that he left out, so he kind of talked about his original response video that he did after Carl Muda's videos were released. And he goes like, you know, I didn't get to word everything the way I wanted to. I didn't get to say everything the way I wanted to in that. But he never really fully addressed how aggressive he was in that video, how angry, and how he really did just starting to threaten both of them. And say like, you know, immediately like, you know, we're going to go after them. You know, they're going to pay for these lies that they've been telling about me and my family and stuff like that. And he never really addresses that. One thing he does address is future videos that, I mean, Carl really went hard in the paint on the personal side and the illegal side. Like Muda, he told people to, you know, reach out to have the FBI investigate them. But Carl was like, oh, I know stuff about his family that'll take him down and take down his family. And I mean, what do you call it? Gerard, I mean, for what he assumed it was basically his father started dating another woman while his mother was in the throes of dementia. And, you know, he just came right out with it. So, I mean, yeah, in a perfect world, you would be like, you know, responsible and with your partner till the end, no matter what. But unfortunately, real life doesn't work out that way sometimes, especially if, you know, unfortunately, your partner loses their brain and they don't know or recognize anything anymore. So it's I think it would be very easy to pass judgment on something like that if you're not in the throes of it. Obviously, I would love to think that I'm a better person if, God forbid, that ever happened to someone I love. But you never know until you're in it, that kind of deal. So, I mean, good on him for, you know, coming straight out with that part of it, too. I mean, sometimes the most powerful way to, you know, get ahead of something is by getting ahead of it. I words good. But speaking of words, one Carl Jobst had some words to say about this. As of right now, I have not seen a response from Mudahar. I checked his Twitter real quick and he didn't post anything. But Carl sure as hell did. Carl doesn't seem to learn his lesson. So, he says that the Gerard video is unfortunately full of lies again. My next video will be a response. After experiencing my own public backlash, I sympathize with what he went through. It truly isn't pleasant. His persistent dishonesty is really baffling, though. I've made plenty of mistakes. There are plenty of things to criticize me for, and I will attempt to own them as much as possible. Which, if you've been following Carl and you saw his quote-unquote final video talking about the Billy Mitchell lawsuit, no, he has not done a great job of addressing his controversies. So, his have turned into a lot of him kind of going, I'm sorry you feel that way, which is, that's not good. But yes, he follows it up with, but for some reason he felt compelled to straight up lie about things that are easily disproved. Of course, the number one response to that initial tweet comes from Billy Mitchell going, remember, RickySauce.com discount code Carl Lost for 10% off. He ratioed Carl, by the way, with that tweet. So, oh boy. That's just, God, like, what? I don't want to say I love Billy Mitchell. I don't love Billy Mitchell. But God, do I love his Twitter. I fucking love his Twitter. He's so funny. So, a lot of people are, going at Carl, dunking Harmon these tweets and just being like, hey, man, like, just because you lost a lawsuit doesn't mean that he was wrong about his covering of Gerard either. So, yeah. It'll be interesting to see what he says in his video, probably by the time the next podcast is out. Hopefully, he has his video out by then and we can cover it. Because you know us. We love our lawsuits around here. We love our shit talk. And every once in a while, it's nice to rub a little dirt on yourselves and get into the muck of the drama. It's fun. It's fun and stupid. Speaking of stupid, let's talk about Fortnite. Now, I'm not going to sit here and say that Fortnite is stupid. It's the biggest game in the world for a reason and has been for a large number of years. But they are known for their... Pardon me. They are known for their love of IPs. And they, unfortunately, have to change an IP. So, Fortnite is changing Peacemaker emote following the TV series Bombshell. So, I guess before I get into this, if you watch Peacemaker and you haven't caught up yet, this is probably going to be a spoiler for you. So, skip, I guess, ahead a couple minutes. I don't know what to tell you. Or don't. I don't really care. I don't watch Peacemaker. So, after Epic Games contacted James Gunn's DC to inquire into our partner's creative intentions. The original story is that Fortnite swiftly disabled the game's Peaceful Hips emote, a collaboration with James Gunn and John Cena's DCU Peacemaker TV series, following a bombshell twist at the end of the show's most recent episode. Fans were left stunned when Peacemaker's latest episode revealed that the show's alternate Earth 2 setting was in fact Earth X, a fascist Nazi world where the US flag features a swastika. Now, many fans say that Peacemaker has subtly pointed to this twist a whole season, with his dance in the show's opening credits, including arm movements suggestive of a swastika, which, yeah, but yeah, I guess. The same dance moves seen in the Peaceful Hips emote. Because Jimmy almost did that on camera. But yeah, it's like him putting his one hand up on one side and one down the other, and then going back and forth with it, and then, kind of shaking his hips. So, without knowing any of this, I didn't pick up on that at all. But again, I don't follow Peacemaker, so I don't know. So, but none of this seemed likely before the last episode aired, and judging by a statement released by Fortnite maker Epic Games over the weekend, developer was just as surprised to discover what looks to be the true meaning of the emote it now had in the game. So they went on to say that they are disabling the Peaceful Hips emote in Fortnite as we inquire into our partner's creative intentions with this collab emote. Assuming it's not coming back, we'll issue refunds in the next few days. Sorry, folks. So, the emote being pulled was mixed with mixed reactions, with some acknowledging the potential for the Nazi emote as it's been dubbed. Others are saying why Epic Games acted here and not in other familiar situations, with an example being that Fortnite raised eyebrows by adding the Tylil? T-Y-L-I-L? Dude, I'm old. I don't know what this shit is anymore. An emote collaboration with rapper Kai Santat, which features music by Kanye West. So, we know what he's been up to lately. So, Fortnite has notably shied away from reselling an in-game skin, Rue, whose costume players widely likened to the design of a Nazi uniform. So the skin remains within the game, though now is one of the rarest skins to find, as they have chosen not to sell it for over 5 years. So, we have us an update. So the original story was posted on September 29th, which is all about 4 or 5 days ago, and updated yesterday. October 1st, where they say that Fortnite has decided to modify its controversial Peaceful Hips emote, which was disabled earlier this week as Epic Games said it was urgently seeking details of its creative origins. The dance appeared to reflect Nazi imagery. For more on why, read our story below. In the update, Epic chose its words carefully when addressing the results of the findings and said it would now update the dance's choreography, quote unquote, to avoid any confusion in Fortnite's next game update due next week. We've worked closely with our partners at Warner Brothers Games to confirm that there were no creative intentions to connect the Peaceful Hips emote and the current Peacemaker storyline. Sure. To avoid any confusion, we're modifying the emote choreography in the next update. If you prefer, players can return the emote without issuing a ticket. So obviously they'll probably have the real emote update out there by then. But since I'm releasing this video super fast after doing this recording, I'm going to say they're just going to take out the whole arm part and leave in the final hip part and be like, oh, Peaceful Hips, he's shaking his hips. And, it's not false advertising at this point. I mean, this is just hilarious. It's like, I think it's awesome that no one knew outside of like James Gunn in the show what was going to happen in the show and that they sold stuff off like that. That's fucking hilarious. And I mean, that's egg on the face of Fortnite and Epic Games. And like, I'm not, going to shit on Fortnite or Epic Games, but it is funny when there's egg on their face like that. But yeah, I mean, it's probably going to be a quick enough thing to fix or at least edit in some way. And it'll be a thing that everyone in the future just kind of goes, oh yeah, I remember that. I don't know why I'm sounding like Norm Macdonald, but yeah, I mean, in the grand scheme of things, I don't think it's that big of a deal. It probably was. So here's my problem. Okay, here's a problem. Even if it is quote unquote Nazi coded the way it is in the, the show, doesn't it again, I don't watch Peacemaker, so are they it's probably being glorified in a satirical and an obviously satirical way. That's the only thing I can imagine. So unless it is if it's being done that way and you're freaking out, then you're missing the plot of everything. If it's not being done that way and you thought it was just Eartha the whole time, then maybe I can see it, but can also, let the story breathe, see how it goes. With this revelation, we can see what's really going on. There's a lot of shit you can do. So I'm kind of glad they're not jumping the gun on this. I guess they're going to play it extremely safe and take out the arm part, as I already said, but at the end of the day, is this that big a deal? Probably not. Is it something anyone's going to remember in a month from now? Probably not, except for when game journalists have to bring up stories again the next time Fortnite screws up because of an IP. So, yeah. But that's kind of the most I have to say about that. I just think it's, it's kind of, it's just goofy. Good old John Cena. That's the most interesting thing that has happened to John Cena during this entire retirement tour that he's doing, because WWE, another now Saudi, influenced company, who would have thought, has been just completely dropping the ball. Triple H is a terrible. I think we've learned over the past year that Triple H is a great editor, but a terrible booker on his own, because after WrestleMania 40 and they didn't have any more of Vince's original ideas, it has been dog shit. And Cena's run has been botched about as badly as you can imagine, which is crazy for the biggest star of the last 20 years being on his actual retirement tour. But that little wrestling goof aside, let's finish off today's episode with a little bit of fun, this week's Normie View. So for those of you new to the show, Normie View is the segment where we go into the world and see what everyone's talking about outside the world of beer and gaming. And we are going to the world of professional American football, the NFL, and their big game. Because you can't say, big game. You can't say Super Bowl. I'm not going to do that bit the whole time. So, Bad Bunny will headline the 2026 Super Bowl halftime show. So, for those of you out there, I mean, I don't think I've ever actually heard a Bad Bunny song. I mean, I think I've heard one or two. I think my wife has one on her phone, or he collabs with some other artist on there, because God forbid any rapper or pop star these days have a song on their own and not have it be a collab with someone else. But I digress. He's one of the biggest music stars in the world right now. He's super hip with the kids, as they like to say. And I mean, if you have no idea who this guy is, if you saw Happy Gilmore 2, he was Happy's caddy in that. So that guy is headlining the Super Bowl halftime show. And yeah, what is the response been? But it's kind of been almost exactly what you expect. So, as we all know, last year Kendrick Lamar did the Super Bowl halftime show, and it was fraught with right-wing criticism because of people being basically like, you know, why is this guy here? What happened to the good old, pure halftime shows? I couldn't understand the thing this guy said the entire time. All kinds of stuff like that. Some went obviously in the more trolly racist kind of way, with other people being like, shut up, grandpa, and others, us included, who are like, well, this kind of rules because he just used a show viewed by 300 million people to call Drake a pedophile. So, I mean, that was awesome. I don't think we're going to be getting that here with Bad Bunny. We're not going to have that little taste of fun. But, I mean, Bad Bunny, if you've seen him in movies, if you've seen him even in his WWE stints, or if you see like stuff of him on stage, the dude's a performer. So, I'm not going to know any of his songs, but it will probably be a fine performance at the halftime show. Like, the guy goes all out with this shit. And I know this take right now is probably very safe, but did you fucking boomers? Because, like, I remember, like, maybe Trump, but, like, definitely a lot of right-wing, or more of the more conservative, like, politicians and even, like, influencers and fucking, like, Hulk Hogan. They were all like, oh, what's this? Why can't we go back to, like, having the Rolling Stones or, like, AC/DC? Why can't we have, like, real rock? It's like, no one wants to see this grandpa shit at the Super Bowl, all right? Do you think the NFL doesn't want to bring in a new audience to their goddamn stuff? Not like the NFL needs help bringing in viewership or new audiences, because it doesn't. It's the biggest sport in North America for a reason. But, yeah, they're always trying to do things to bring in a younger crowd. And, I mean, the last halftime show that I thought was really, really good was when Bruno Mars did it. Like, I was only like, on his music before then, but I became a huge fan. That was a hell of a show that he put on. But yeah, I mean, like, you'll get your Paul McCartneys every once in a while, and it's like, it's cute. Grandpa's out there. The Rolling Stones have done it before. It's like, okay, they can still kind of go, but they're in their 80s and they're half dead. So it's just like, it's time to move on, people. And of course, I know if they announced that, fuck me. Who are some of the big country music stars? Like, if like a Jason Aldean or a Luke Bryan or something like that was announced, like, everyone decrying Kendrick and Bad Bunny would be being like, oh, this is awesome. Good old fashioned American music. Blah, 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 blah. And, unless you have that like Wallen guy, I forget the fuck his rest of his name is. He's huge. He's one of the biggest music stars in the world, but I gotta look this up now. What the fuck's this guy name? Morgan Wallen. There it is. Like, he's had his controversies with shit like that, but I'm sure they would poo-poo that because it's their guy, kind of. But yeah. Obviously, the funniest tweets that you've been seeing are people being like, viewers frantically crawling ice on Bad Bunny to make sure he doesn't perform or while he's performing, when, one, he's an American citizen, and two, he's from Puerto Rico, which is, a principality of the United States. So it's like, yeah, no, you're not calling ice on him, you fucking morons. So, yeah. At the end of the day, I don't really care that much. I'm sure it'll be a perfectly fine show, but the shit show that's just been coming from it, I mean, it's easy rage bait for the blue check marks on Twitter, but like, I know when I go see my parents this weekend, there will be family members who will have things to say about this guy being here. So I just get to roll my eyes and go, oh, you're so old, because you're not going to change the mind of a boomer at this point. But that will wrap up this week's episode. So once again, hope everyone out there enjoyed. If you're new to the page, make sure to head on over to Podbean, iTunes, and YouTube. Leave those likes, comments, subscriptions, share it with your friends. It can always help out the page. Brian will be back next week. We'll get to these reviews I have over here that we have to get to. I was planning on doing that, but then I had no idea he was going away this weekend. So that was my bad. Where really he could have told me. It's Brian's fault. Fuck Brian. But yeah, as always, guys, Make sure to check all the links out. Check the Patreon out for all the bonus content over there. As far as the beer goes, like I said, I like Obscura. Drinking this entire thing did not change my mind on the beer. It's perfectly fine, but it's unfortunately kind of completely unremarkable. So there you go. But anyway, everybody, you all out there, you have you a good night, a good week. Until next time, cheers.